Việt Nam quân ta vinh quang.
Bình Long quê hương tôi nằm trên máu lửa vô buồn. Bình Long thân yêu ơi, Bình Long ai tiếng phản thương. Thương rất nhiều năm bao hồ rồi ngà gục. Và đỡ máu cha máu đây khắc giặc đầy đường. Bình Long quê hương tôi mồ thương khắc giặc không buồn. Hàng năm tây năm tư còn năm khối tháp một ngang. Đến cả ngàn giặc công trên nằm đầy đồng. Nhờ chiến sĩ những anh hùng dựng lên điệp giặc giữ nhà.
On June 19, 1965, amidst the extreme confusion of the nation, the armed forces of the Republic of Vietnam had officially accepted the historic responsibility for the steering of the national vote, the representative of which was Lieutenant General Nguyen Van Thieu, chairman of the National Leading Committee. From that time on, June 19 turns out to become the most important historic day of the Vietnamese people, a great festival of all the troops and people of South Vietnam. And this year particularly, the June 19, 1973 Armed Forces Day has come back to the people of South Vietnam right at a moment when the Vietnamese have just laid the foundation of peace. Manifesting their pride and their gratitude toward the heroic and victorious deeds of their armed forces, the people of South Vietnam turned out in full force to welcome the June 19 Armed Forces Day in overwhelming enthusiasm and soaring hope. To testify to their gratitude and admiration toward the combatants who are undergoing all kinds of hardships day and night to defend the nation, early in the morning of June 18, opening the program welcoming the Armed Forces Day, the civic organizations in the capital have cooperated with the Saigon Prefecture to organize a solemn reception in honor of over 200 notorious combatants of all arms. On the other hand, in the morning of June 18, Mrs. Nguyen Van Thieu, the First Lady of the Republic of Vietnam, had come to the Army General Hospital to visit and comfort the wounded soldiers who had sacrificed parts of their bodies to the fatherland and are now under treatment here. The First Lady had visited a number of wards in the hospital. At each place, she heartily inquired as to the health of the wounded soldiers and wished them a quick recovery. At the same time, Mrs. Nguyen Van Thieu had also presented each one of the wounded soldiers with a gift, including cash from the President of the Republic of Vietnam, to testify to the people's gratitude toward the fighting men. In the framework of the Armed Forces Day, a solemn and moving commemoration of the unknown soldier had been organized in the night of June 18 at the Bien Hoa Army Cemetery under the chairmanship of Prime Minister Tran Thien Kim, concurrently Minister of National Defense. Present at the commemoration were the bicameral Congress Chairman of the National Defense Committee, the high-ranking officers, the commanding officers representing all the armed forces of the Army, the representatives of the civic organizations, The premier had kindled the sacred flame at the unknown soldier monument and laid the wreath at the commemoration site. Then the General Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Republic of Vietnam planted the Army colors at half-staff in front of the monument of the unknown soldier. The ritual prayers were read right at the moment when the whole Godsaker was lightened up by the flares. The June 19, 1973 Armed Forces Day was highlighted by the greatest troop review and parade ever organized in the most solemn way on Tran Hung Dao Street under the chairmanship of President Nguyen Van Thieu, the Supreme Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Republic of Vietnam. Celebration site, the President attended the salute to the national and the Army colors. Then he boarded a car and reviewed the troops. Right at the moment, the Air Force's planes flied in close formation and ejected 5 trails of smoke, the colors of the national flag. The President reviewed in turn all the arms and the mechanized units of the armed forces of the Republic of Vietnam, coming from all areas of the country over to the capital to attend the Armed Forces Day. troops, the President had decorated the Army flag and pinned the gallantry cross of the armed forces on the Navy, the Air Force, the four military regions' commanders for the glorious victories which their units had brought to all the troops and the people of the Republic of Vietnam, especially for the renowned victorious deeds during the 3 months of marching on from victory to reconquer land period. The Prime Minister and the General Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Republic of Vietnam had in turn pinned the 5th National Orders along with the gallantry crosses, the willow leaves, the military medals, and the gallantry crosses along with the willow leaves on the meritorious soldiers from all arms for their outstanding heroic deeds among hundreds of thousands of troops of the armed forces of the Republic of Vietnam, who are converging today to the capital to attend the Armed Forces Day, attracting the admiration of millions of their fellow citizens. Admiration, the girl students of the capital had draped the glorious wreaths over the shoulders of the victorious troops. His order of the day directed to troops of all ranks, the President said,
Chiến hữu các cấp.
In his order of the day addressed to the combatants of all ranks on the Armed Forces Day, the President of the Republic of Vietnam had appealed to the combatants never to cease to be vigilant, forestall efficiently, and to react timely and strongly to any communist attempt to grab land and people. Opening the order of the day, President Nguyen Van Thieu recalled that a year ago, also on the Armed Forces Day, he had ordered the Vietnamese armed forces to march on from victory to reconquer land. As a result, the communist aggressors had been defeated on all decisive battlefields, and important territories were reconquered. Those victories were decisive insofar as the ultimate failure of the communist aggressors' last endeavor since the 1968 Mau Tan Tet offensive, and at the same time forcing them to abandon the obstinate attitude they had maintained for 4 years at the Paris peace negotiations and to sign the January 27, 1973 agreement. The Communists had to pledge to honor the ceasefire and to restore peace from that day on. But henceforth, for over 4 months, the ceasefire has been seriously violated by the Communists, and peace has not been actually restored. Recently, on June 13, the Communists pledged once again to honor the ceasefire, but for the past few days, they have continued to violate it even more seriously.
Chúng lại vẫn tiếp tục vi phạm trầm trọng hơn nữa. Như vậy,
the President pointed out that the above fact has amply illustrated that the communists do not advocate restoration of peace by peaceful means, based on the spirit of national reconciliation and concord, and by having free and democratic elections to implement the right to self-determination of the people of South Vietnam. On the contrary, these truth violations show that the communists are basically belligerent elements, that they still stand for a war of aggression, and their scheme remains the annexation of the entire South by way of arms and violence.
Bằng vũ lực và bảo tàng. Với kinh nghiệm từ năm 54 qua những hiệp định về Việt Nam.
Then President Thieu made further analysis of the situation, stressing that the Vietnamese people's experience since 1954, through various agreements on Vietnam and the neighboring countries,